Hi guys, so today we're going to make the card that you saw there in the intro using the new Spellbinders February 2022 large die of the month and the Glimmer of the month, and these items were sent free of charge from my review, and of course all opinions are my own. And the links down in the description box will be for the monthly kits. Those will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. So I already did an unboxing video talking about all the different dies, but this is a large die over here which is called Typing Class. Super sweet. We'll create our little typewriter and go through all those steps there. And then I'm going to, I think, possibly pop in a sentiment in here, like if it was on a paper, with the Glimmer. So what I think I'm going to do is actually do all of them, just so we can see them. And generally I do the one for the project, but I thought this will be fun. So it's called Anytime Glimmer Sentiments. And so those are there, and again, I unboxed them and read all the different sentiments, but of course I'm going to create them, so you'll see them there. I do know now that the foil that comes with the Glimmer, so if you're a club member and you get the Glimmer, it comes with a roll of foil. Now if you buy them later on, like during a sale or when they're by themselves or out in the general public, they're not going to have the foil with them. It's just the plates, whatever the plates can be. Sometimes they're plates and dies, or just plates, or however. But when you're a club member and when they first release them and you get them, it does come with foil. And I believe this was a gold matte foil, and I just keep my foils a lot of times in these Daiso cases. They fit like super perfectly. So when I was looking through my foils, I'm like, I think this one, even though it doesn't have a label and it's not in the box, I believe this is the matte gold. So, because that's what it looks like. The shinier gold like this one, you can tell it's holographic. It just has a different look, So either way, I'm going to use this one just so we have an idea, but of course you can use any foil you have or whatever coordinates with your project. But for today we're going to do that. So I think what I'll do is I'll start off with the foiling, so we have those ready to go, and then we'll go into these pieces here. So I'm going to start up my hot foil system, which happens to be the Crafter's Companion hot foil system. They are compatible. I usually go with a medium heat for 30 seconds, and it seems to work really well. You want to use the smoothest paper you have, because that's just going to give you the best adhesion of the foil transfer there. And we'll be right back. Okay, so depending on whatever system you have, obviously you want to turn it on. Make your selections. So it's on. I want the medium. So it's warming up right now. I can go ahead and set up that I want 30 seconds. And I'm not going to press start, because then it's going to count down the 30 seconds. But for now, just have that ready. And I might do 2 things at a time. I normally don't. But just because sometimes the pressure that one leaves might impede the other one from getting the same pressure or whatever. But if I keep them kind of separate, I think I'm going to do that. So this one might even be able to put like 3 of them. It just depends on your paper too. So what are you wanting to do, right? So just keep that in mind. This is some really, really smooth, actually marker paper, because it's so smooth. It'll hopefully give us the best impression. So we have, hello there, happy birthday. And these guys are all pretty small, and then maybe I'll do these guys separate. I'm just trying to think of how I want to do this. Do I want 1 page? How big is this? 036, like 7-ish. By like 4, 5. Alright, let me cut myself a 5x7 piece of paper, and I'm gonna let this warm up, okay? And I'll be right back. Warm up. I do have a piece of paper that's about 5x7, and I'll just put, these guys in different areas and just go with that. Again, if you already know what you're gonna do with yours, if you're gonna die cut it and you kind of want it in a certain spot or however much paper you need around it. For now, I'm just doing them, and then I'll use them as I, see fit later. So, I do want to cut my foil, and the foil I keep real close to the design. So like this little hello there, and even though my foil is a little bit messed up right here, you can still use like this portion. Looks really good. So I would cut the paper, the foil, to just fit that. You don't want too much extra. So when you have too much extra, you might get over foiling in those areas or however, but that, So just see, that was a little bit too small. Let me go over here. And I'll make it a little bit skinnier. You just don't want too much extra foil all around. That's about good for that one. And I'll, happy birthday. I just need a little portion too, about the same size. And maybe a little bit bigger piece for this one. But just, around the edges, not too much. Like a big piece, you don't need that. You're just going to end up wasting it. So I'll be back. I'm going to take a moment to say that my neighbor is putting on a new roof, and I can hear the banging of them doing that. In case you guys can hear it too. What I'm going to do now is just, once this beeps, I'm going to show you how I'm going to lay out my little dies or the plates. So, you know, you leave it there, it's going to get hot with the words facing up. And since I'm going to put my paper on top, the foil needs to be face down, like the pretty side. Sorry, I heard more things. So the pretty side needs to be face down, you know, the bad side or the silver side you don't want facing up. And then you're going to put your paper on top and then run it through your machine. So the next thing you're going to see is me doing that. It might have music because, again, the noise. Okay, I'll be right back. So I just want to show you I got all those done. I actually did these in a different color that I have, a bronze, polished brass. And so I used that on these guys, and this guy is the matte gold, which is super pretty. You can see some difference there. And I do want to show you, I got a little overfoiling right there. It's like the smallest thing. So what you can do is just take an eraser. I'm so sorry. I'm telling you, I turned my lights in a way that hopefully it just washes out because it's so bright. You can just take an eraser and erase that little portion. So, in case you need that little tip. Alright, let me grab what we need for the typewriter and we will get started on that. So I chose some colors right quick. I'm going to put in like a typewriter that's going to be light blue, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to drop in one of the words, but you don't have to. You can add it later, or you can add it with this backing, however you want to do it. There's different ways to do this. I'm going to go ahead and pop it in now, so I'll have that there. And whenever you do that, you definitely want to tape those down so they don't move. Let me see if I have any scrap pieces right now. You don't want this die to move and get tucked under the other one, because that wouldn't be good for the die or your machine. Okay, so we have that. And then on top of that, for our keyboard, I'm going to make it easy. I'm going to use the little piece that you just put in the background. It also has some little dies here for each key if you want to do that, to add it, but you can also get that same effect just using these guys. So I'm going to do this on this brushed silver kind of paper that I have, and you do need 2 of one of these. I will let you know which one. I'm not sure yet, but I know you need 3 rows, and there's one that you need double of, but I think it's the smaller one. This one is slightly smaller. Either way, I'm going to cut out 2 of that from this silver paper. I'm also going to cut out the little knob. We need 2 of these. Generally, typewriters on either side, they have the little turners there. I always call them knobs, but I guess I should know. This typewriter reminds me of like a Remington, like Easy Writer or Quiet Writer. They just have a different look, kind of like roundish here. But anyway, I'm going to use this guy, and I'm going to cut it out so that I get the knobs in silver and I get a little black accent from this piece right here. So I'll just, you know, trim it out 2 times also. And then for our keyboard itself, you can do a backing, you can do the inlay on top, or you don't have to do a backing one if you just want to pop it on there, however you want to do it. But I'm going to do just a complete one like this in black. Oh, I think it fits on this scrap, yeah. Ooh, just barely, look at that. So I'm going to cut that out completely in black, and then I'm going to do an insert or inlay one on some white paper. I didn't bring out any white paper, but basically I'm going to do it like this, tape it down so it doesn't move. And I'll be right back, and we'll put together the base of the typewriter, and then we'll add in our flowers and other things, okay? I'll be right back. I'll clean that cut. All I did was pick it up, and everything just popped out. So these are the little keys we're not going to use. And then, like I said, I wanted to cut out 2 of this guy, 2 sets, knowing I need 3 of them, but I wasn't sure which exact 3 I need, so we have these. And that also cuts out the space bar, that one die. So I will be back. Okay, so to construct this, I also cut out just this outer portion, like where the words can kind of inlay with it. And I'm going to use that on here. Now you can cut your piece of paper that goes in here, because you can put a piece of paper in here to look like, you know, you were typing it up. To cover that, I'm just going to use this little guy. And so I'm going to take some glue and just go around the very edges, because that's barely going to cover that up. It just depends on how you use it, if you want to use it as an inlay or overlay, you know, kind of thing. So it works differently. So for this, I'm putting it behind here. So it's just going to lay in behind there. And I'll take a quick peek at the front, make sure that's on there. Okay, that looks pretty good, so I'll just make sure that stays there. In the meantime, I did cut this down, so I have a note to make you smile. This opening is about 3 inches. I just measured it with a ruler, and so I just cut this down to smaller than that. I think it's like 2.5, and I'll probably have it sticking out like that, something fun. So we have that. On this little guy, we need the silver knob, and then this little portion that will be in black. I just want to show you what that looks like before I stick it down. So I have this piece that goes right there, just like the inside of the knob. Let me get a little bit closer for you guys. So you can put the glue on your piece. I'm just going to put it on here very carefully, just a little bit of glue, knowing that's going to catch that whole area. And then, so I'm going with the quicker route on the keyboard. I'll do the same thing with the other little knob. I have 2. And I have 2 little black pieces here too. This is our keyboard, and let me see, is the longer one? Yeah, so the longer one, as you can see, that they have like little divots, but they also have like little bumps. And so what you're gonna do is turn over, and I don't know if you can see the way this is kind of beveled out like this. So when you turn it over, it's going to find its way, right, with that little beveling. And basically you're putting this piece under that top row, so those little notches line up, and then when you look at it on the other side, you're going to see the little tops of the keys. Isn't that interesting? So I'll glue that down so we can kind of see what that looks like. So I'm putting glue on this because that's what I prefer to do. If you want to put it on the piece, go ahead. I'm just putting glue in between here. Basically, that's where it's catching, right under those little key holders. I don't know how you want to call it, but right there. So this is that longer piece. So when I turn it around, the keys are filled in for us. So you can also cut out keys, like I said here, and then pop those on top if you want. It just gives more more detail, or you can leave it like this and just make it quicker, right? And then this goes on top of this, and hopefully you can see now you have the little black base part, the little silver key tops. Super cute. On the Quiet Writer I have, they're like dark green and beige is the coloring there. But either way. Alright, so we have that one. Just trying to make sure we're holding it down in the right place. And then there are 2 that are shorter, a little bit different. These 2 that are just a little bit different. I think those are the ones we have to use for this other part. Or maybe not. I don't know. Either way, we'll line them up and see which ones, because like I said, I wasn't sure if you needed 2 longer ones or 2 shorter ones. Okay, so it looks like the shorter one goes right there, right? And that gives you that set of keys there. So again, I'm putting glue on this. The glue kind of touches up there more than anything. And we'll pop this in. Where was I? Right there. And I'm holding it here just to make sure that they're lined up. Not very hard to see because they're both white on the back. But that's that row. So we've taken care of those 2 rows, right? So it needs to squeeze down a little bit more. Aww. And now we have the top row. So again, I think it goes with these guys, but just want to make sure. Yeah. So it's 2 of the shorter ones. It's slightly shorter. I just want to show you. This one's just a little bit longer. These have like little hooks on the end. I guess that's how you can differentiate this one from that guy. easier. And where we laid this one in like this, we're still doing that. We're just not looking for the top of the keys, you know, the base of the keys on this one. That we're just ignoring that because basically you're just going to put this down. So the little kind of rounded areas touch those openings, okay? So I'm doing this in a way that hopefully doesn't confuse you guys so that it makes it very easy when you put it together. I know if I mention it, it might seem like, okay, but it's very intuitive. I think once you see it, you'll get it. So this one, we're not worrying about the bottom of the keys. We're just looking at where those little round portions want to go. And then again, I'll check it out from the front and see if I need to move it down at all. Like this one, I feel it needs to come down a little bit. Oh my gosh. So I prefer this. This is much faster. You have those 3 strips that really give you all that detail. And then I'm just going to glue this to this, and I'm going to glue it flat. So I'll just put glue all around the edge, stick it down. Okay guys, so while that's set up, I just grabbed a piece of cardstock. It's just slightly smaller than A2 size card. And I'm just going to run it through the new embossing folder of the month. So it's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, I would say roughly. I'm just going to run this through. And again, you can kind of judge where you want that, where you want this to go. And even if you want to go this way, interesting. I never really thought about that. I'm not sure if it changes it because of the style of the pattern anyway, but either way, I'm going to run that through just about there. That looks good. And then this guy, I'm just going to finish off with adding our space bar, and I'm just going to glue it straight down, but if you want to pop that up, of course you can pop that up. And then you also, I'm going to let it hang off a little bit. Do I want it, it's a little bit rounded on one side. I do want that rounded side facing down a little bit. Whatever it is that you want. Actually, should I do it the other way? I don't know. That looks good. I'm going to put a little dimensional adhesive on the back of this guy. So we have that guy ready to go. And then, before we get to all this, I'm just going to glue these little guys down. I'm just trying to think where I want to put them. Go right about there. So kind of where this little hump turns here. I'll put both of these guys. Kind of hanging out. Okay? And as far in or out as you like. And I'll put one on the other side too. And I'll be right back. My dimensionals there. I have my little note ready. I have my card base. This is a smaller card base. You know, it's an A2 size, but if you want to do a little bit larger, you can stick more flowers and things in there. Oh, look at that. So I'm going to put that guy down. And I was debating if I'm going to orient it this way, because you guys know I just kind of start playing around however I want, or if I want to go this way. I think I want to do this way, just something different. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just stick this down. And I am going to put some dimensionals on the back of my little typewriter, but I'll do that in just a second. Sorry about the hammering if you happen to hear it. Because I certainly do hear it. Okay, let's see here. There. I'm going to put this piece in here. And I'm going to put a little glue back here. That way I can put my dimensional and have an idea where that's going to be. So just about there. I kind of like it sideways like that. I think that's cute. And just kind of see where it's going to peek out the top. Something like that. Right there. Okay, I'm going to put a little glue in between here, like just a little something, and hold that down. So I have that going. Probably should have taken these guys off. I know these are a little bit older, these dots I have, so I'm going to put a little glue to help out in the long run. And I put them strategically so I can still pop like flowers or leaves or whatever I end up doing behind there. So I'm just kind of putting them there. Put this guy here. He's a little over this way, so I can put some greenery over there. And then this little guy. Just nestle in, kind of splitting the difference. You can see there's some embossing there, and then there's the little cut line, so I'm just putting him in between those areas. Oh my gosh. You guys, how cute is that? I mean, even just like that, that's adorable. I'm going to cut a lot of greenery, or some greenery, should I say, because I think that's what I want to stick with. Maybe some flowers, but I'm just going to trim these out of, well, trim them out. Cut them out. I'm not trimming them. The dye is going to do the work. Out of different colors of paper, and I'll be right back. As I said, I wanted to just like greenery. I think that looks really lovely. And it's funny because I want to act like different colors of green, and I grabbed this one, like, it's so bright. I don't know, because it's almost neon. It looks really nice. And I just kind of tucked them. I haven't glued them in yet. I'm just putting different things here and there Aw, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So, all I'm gonna do is, honestly, I like where they are, so I'm just gonna bring this out and like pop some, oopsie. Not pop some, oopsie. Gotta clean that glue up. Put some glue in here. And just kind of gently tuck it back in where I like the way it looked. Clean that guy up. And just keep doing the same thing. I'll put this one out. I at first tucked this one in the back because of the brightness of it, but it really looks lovely. I like that. There. And then I'll pop this guy in with a little glue. Okay, and then these two, and I'll be back. There's my card. Very much reminds you of something like, I don't know, Tarzan's story, right? With the typing and, I don't know, the old school feel of that and like the palms and everything. So cute. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you, Spellbinders, for sending these items for review. I'll have some images for you guys. Hopefully, you know, that helped you guys out as far as assembling it, you know, doing a little glimmer, all those kind of fun things. And I will see you guys at the next one. Bye now.